Mothers Open Ministry. This is Pastor Precious Collins, and I'm here to talk to you about the Mikhayahtarian lifestyle. First of all, the tip of the day is freeze-dried strawberries that you can buy from Walmart with a store brand called Great Value. These are less than $6. They come 6 to a pack, and they are delicious toddler snacks and even snacks for adults as well. There's no added sugar. It's just the freeze-dried strawberry fruit crisp. Now, let's talk about fruits and vegetables. Part of Mikhayahtarianism is about being nutrient dense, having a nutrient dense diet. And so we focus on Powerhouse fruits and vegetables. You can Google CDC Powerhouse fruits and vegetables for the complete list of fruits and vegetables that are most strongly associated with reducing the risk of chronic disease. So stroke, diabetes, cancer, these things that are very hard to cure once you have obtained them, but not necessarily impossible. God is a healer. But why not start from even birth with training our bodies to prevent chronic disease? This is not to say that fruits and vegetables that are not on this list don't offer some type of nutrients or should never be eaten, but why not hone in and really get intentional about training your body to fight naturally against chronic disease by including nutrient-dense Powerhouse fruits and vegetables in your diet. What I have found, part of the problem is that the market doesn't really offer it exclusively or in the with the same urgency or capacity as other things. Let me just tell you what I'm saying in general. Let's start with infant jars, infant pureed fruits and vegetables. Some Powerhouse fruits and vegetables, for example, are at the top of the list are watercress. I've never seen a jar of watercress for infants. Chinese cabbage, chard. I'm just listing off the top of my head. I've never seen just pureed broccoli by itself. I've never seen just even blackberries just by themselves. Sometimes you can see pumpkin just by itself. But these fruits and vegetables, I've never seen radish by itself or endive or tomato by itself. You can get V8 tomato juice, but that can cause some issues with babies who have acid reflux like Micaiah had early on. But my point is that a lot of times these infant jars are mixed with things that have a lot of sugar to kind of develop that appetite for sugar in a way. So the blackberries will oftentimes be mixed with apple, which is a low carb fruit, but doesn't offer as much nutrients as those fruits and vegetables that I've mentioned to you and others on the Powerhouse fruits and vegetables list. So we want to be intentional about maybe creating a demand or just bringing awareness to the farmers out there and the manufacturers that, hey, we want our babies, we want even ourselves as adults to have access to Powerhouse fruits and vegetables that are not added water. A lot of times when I find pumpkin, it has, if you look at the ingredients, it's pumpkin and water. No, I just want pumpkin, or I just want the blackberries, or I just want the strawberries. That's why I like this tip right here, because it's nothing added, no added sugar either. Mikhayahtarians use plant-based sweeteners, even if we did have a sweetener in there, but I like that fruits that are sweetened by God already don't have any added sugar. So that's awesome. Also, we do pea protein shakes. So this is Kate Farms pea milk. Basically, I put about 4 ounces of Kate Farms pea milk. I put a jar of infant or pureed fruits and vegetables. Usually it's just the beech nut, spinach, zucchini, and peas, and 4 ounces of water. And I'll add some infant oatmeal cereal by Earth's Best, put a dash of ground ginger and a dash of cinnamon in there and shake that up. And my baby drinks that at least 3 times a day. So why do I do that? First of all, a lot of our milk that we drink does not offer protein. So it's not to say that, drinking cow's milk is bad or that you shouldn't do it, or that drinking almond milk is bad, because I drink almond milk, but I really want to focus on her getting her water intake. A lot of toddlers don't drink a lot of water. right? So increasing her water intake, increasing her consumptions of fruits and vegetables, especially leafy green vegetables. A lot of children don't eat leafy green vegetables. And a lot of children who are learning to chew, or just, learning to chew long enough to be able to consume enough protein, need to have it in their milk. It's not just, it's a very intentional act to give them these shakes early on to make sure they have complete nutrition, that their diet is nutrient dense. So that's the pea protein shakes. We talked about how to make that, and then also how to make what vegetables and fruits to look for, to create demand for our manufacturers to please have these as a standalone, like the blackberries by themselves. A lot of times just for breakfast, like, okay, what does a Mikhayahtarian breakfast look like? Well, it's not what the play toys look like. When I went to order, some play toys or play food for Micaiah, it showed like a bagel and a banana and an apple. And I'm like, sugar, 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 sugar. Why are we training her to be diabetic? Right? So I want to focus on getting that protein in first, because that's going to compete for the absorption of the sugar. So the protein first, and then we can add in something else as well. So I'll go to get her one of those jars of blackberries, not jars, but the whole blackberries in the produce section, just the whole blackberries. Or you can do something like this as well. Micaiah also likes grapefruit with stevia on it, if anybody likes that. But that's what our breakfast looks like. It is not the and my husband the other day just wanted to make me some waffles. And this just goes to say how there's so many things missing on the market in terms of a nutrient dense diet, or Mikhayahtarian diet. So he bought me these vegan waffles, but just because they're vegan doesn't mean that they're not going to spike my sugar. So they didn't have the dairy, but they had gluten, and the gluten that they used was white rice. And white rice has the germ removed, so it absorbs really quickly, turns to sugar, and there goes your sugar spike on top of whatever syrup you're putting in it. And I was good. I put blue agave on there, but nope. I ended up having dumping syndrome afterwards because I had a bariatric surgery a couple of years ago. So that was not a good combination. So submit yourselves to the Lord, resist the devil, and he will flee. But we want to create awareness about what we need on the market. We need, I had this idea for donuts that were made instead of with wheat flour, with chickpea flour. I was like, maybe if I can get one of those donut machines, and then I can use the almond milk and the chickpea flour, or something else, some type of nut flour instead of wheat. And wouldn't that be awesome, just to have donuts that you can go and grab and feel guilt-free about? They actually going to have the protein and be delicious. Maybe top it off, instead of with sugar, put stevia on top of it, or something like that, or monk fruit sweetener to sweeten it, or xylitol, some plant-based sweetener, something that is not man-made or has the risk of developing cancers in your body's down the road. But Micaiah and I, we don't do sucralose. We don't do any aspartame or things like that. It's not to say that those are not healthier alternatives, but why not go for the real thing? Why not go for the plant-based sweeteners like the stevia, xylitol, and monk fruit sweeteners, plant-based. So those are some things I wanted to share with you. And then also always have devotion in nature weekly if possible. I know we go to church weekly, but we also need a private time to just sit and listen for the Lord in nature. Creation offers a lot of restorative effects in terms of our mood and our memory retention. And even if you do it as a family, it just really helps us to connect on a deeper level with the supernatural. So we need to take time in nature, take a walk. There are other somatic experiences as well that you can engage in. You can do body scans, look up Peter Levine, or look up John Hopkins medicine, and just see those different types of somatic experiences that you can have. But just from a spiritual standpoint, we want to make sure that we're connecting that with our Creator, God, Jesus. We want to make sure that we're meditating on the Word of God, even while we're having these somatic experiences in nature and spending time with our families. So that's what Mikhayahtarian is about. It was inspired by my daughter, who was born with food allergies and GI disorders, and I had to change my diet in order to breastfeed her milk that did not have dairy, soy, and egg in it. By doing that, I saved her life, but she actually saved my life. It was God's bigger plan that I did not know that he was doing through her illnesses. But the Lord showed me how eliminating certain things from my diet and really just focusing on nutrient-dense foods really improved my health. I no longer have prediabetes or gestational hypertension or hypertension at all, or I'm no longer morbidly obese. I'm over 100 pounds down. And let me tell you, I feel better because I know that I can trust God for my health and for my life. And this lifestyle of a nutrient dense lifestyle, time with God, nutrient dense time with God, out in nature, not just, behind our cell phones, but that's good too. I have my place for, Joyce Meyer inside the house, but then, every other week. And I'm going to be kicking that up to once a week here once I build my capacity up. But definitely taking time for God in nature as often as possible. So again, recapping, Mikhayahtarianism is about devotion in nature. It's about pea protein shakes, prioritizing protein and plant-based protein. So we avoid dairy, soy, egg, corn, gluten, high fructose corn syrup, red meat, and refined sugars like table sugars, cane sugars, man-made sugars, refined salts like table salts, things that are going to lead to high blood pressure if used. It's just not a good practice. When there's the real thing that you have access to. And we make sure that when we cook, we even cook with nutrient-dense oils. So we want polyunsaturated fats. We want olive oils. We want you to have the best of what God has for you. If you're going to use butter, use the earth balanced butter with a hint of olive oil in it that has flaxseed and pea protein, as opposed to something that's just organic. Be sensitive to those wordings. Gluten-free doesn't mean that it's going to be golden or best. You need to know what type of gluten-free. Is it a gluten-free that offers protein or gluten-free that doesn't offer protein? Go for the one with protein. That's what's going to be diabetic friendly. I know it might be organic, but what type of heart health, what type of nutrients are in there that's really going to add to you and not just make you feel full or make you feel like emotionally you're doing something well. Okay. So nutrient dense. I hope that was a blessing to you today. I went on much longer than I anticipated, but God has been good to me, and I just have to share it with the world. I just have to share what God has done for me in hopes that my daughter and the future generations will continue to observe a nutrient-dense diet that is spirit-led, by taking time with God, with devotion in nature, by allowing God to comfort us, by giving us knowledge, and by giving us another chance. That's what this ministry, Mother's Hope Ministry, is about. God giving us another chance. I don't want to get too much into my message coming up here on April 25th, but we are going to be talking about brain plasticity, and we're going to be talking about behavior modification and how that's in the Bible. But, Isaiah 66 verse 13 says that God comforts us in the way that a mother comforts her own child. So God gives us another chance. We're going to be talking about Gideon and how the Israelites, had sinned, and again, I'm not trying to get all into it again. I'm just so excited about the word, but God gives us a chance over and over and over again. And a lot of times it's just conditioning, because he's trying to expand our capacity, because we're born with a certain capacity, but over time we have to grow so that we can have the capacity for more good things that he has for us up the road, and not just for us, but for what we're to share with others. So God bless you today, and wherever you are in your journey, be encouraged. What you're going through may not be a relapse. It might just be conditioning. So stick with the Lord. Don't be too hard on yourself, and enjoy a nutrient-dense life. Take care.